Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now in today's video we are going to look at this GL3 Pro weapon light from the company Rovyvon. Now at this point, as you take a look, you'll actually notice it's a little bit dirty. Well, that's because I've been getting this to some good practical field use, mounting this on my firearms, getting out to the range, and gaining some impressions. The first thing I'm going to tell you, this is a beautiful light. Very, very nicely made, great construction, interesting form factor. We'll talk about that in a little bit of detail later on. So what we're going to do today, we're going to take a look at this in some practical field use. You'll see it on a couple of different handguns. I do end up with some final thoughts at the end of the video, and then in between I'm going to kind of bring you through all of the details. And so when we come back, we'll get into it. But with that said, I have a whole bunch to do and a whole bunch to share with you. And if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. Now before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Rovyvon who did provide this for review. And so now as we get into the field use footage of the GL3 Pro. This is the larger version of the GL lineup, having the laser. So here you can see this is intended to be a pistol light. It comes in a very nice case, nicely packaged, and actually the case can also double as a small EDC organizer. So great attention to detail from Rovyvon. Again, this is intended to be a pistol light with a maximum output of 600 lumens, a 110 meter beam distance, and has the green laser pointer. Very, very nicely made, excellent construction, and absolutely beautiful. This has multiple modes, the ability to switch between the light, a strobe, and the laser in different configurations. It comes with everything you'll need from the charging cable and small accessories to get things going. In my particular case, I did need to leverage the 1913 adapter, so I got the 1913 PIC adapter set on top of the weapon light, and at that point, everything was ready to go. This has a smooth reflector on the inside. It also has a quick attach or quick detach lever, which is very, very nice. It's fully ambidextrous and gives the ability for both right hand and left hand users the ease of access to the switches. This is rechargeable, leveraging a USB Type-C charging port, and it is also compatible with a CR123 if you wanted to swap that out. This particular light being IPX7 waterproof and a very, very nice and robust construction. Here you can see with everything pretty much ready to go, getting this set into place. Now the first thing is, as I did try to get this mounted, it's a little bit stiff on the quick attach adapter. It will take a little bit for you to get used to it, but once you kind of get used to the lever and how it operates, it's not too big of a deal. You kind of need to lean on it just a little bit to buy some space and get it over the little safety tab that they have built onto the side of it. And then on top of that, as I was trying to get it mounted onto the firearm, again, just taking a little bit of practice, getting the spring to the appropriate tension, leveraging a coin to loosen up the thumb screw, and at that point it was pretty straightforward. There's not a lot to it, but at the same time it will take you just a little bit to get used to it. It's very firm and robust construction, so there's not a lot of extra wiggle room or play, which is a good thing. The tolerances are tight, the construction is sound, the materials are premium, and everything about this very nice. So you can see I did struggle just a little bit at first to get this weapon light into place, but again, after just a little bit of practice, getting everything set to the appropriate tension, not a big deal. So again, the GL3 Pro, an absolutely beautiful offering from Rovyvon, and the GL3 Pro, again, being the larger brother of the GL3, which the GL3 Pro does include also the additional laser, which is fantastic. So you'll see here that I got into a whole bunch of field use footage. I show you 200 rounds total. 100 rounds of 22 and 100 rounds of 9mm. So you get a lot of field use footage. And if you do want to fast forward past all of the footage and get to my final thoughts, you can fast forward to 12 minutes and 49 seconds. But as we get into the field use footage, you'll notice again, 22 and 9mm on the handgun, which I feel is pretty standard for most shooters. And I did want to give this a pretty good test to make sure that all of it would properly function, that it was able to sustain 200 rounds of use, that the battery life would last, and you'll see by the end of this, everything absolutely fantastic. So now just getting some real quick action, testing out the light. You'll see here on the side paddle switches, very effective. Again, you can leverage multiple different modes at a quick little press. Very simple. And additionally, on the bottom, you'll notice a wonderful mode switch. A very nice positive click. So you can see very effective. Easy to change the modes. Gives you the ability to get to the strobe. You can get to the light only, and you can also leverage the laser only, which is awesome in different combinations. So a very effective light. So again, coming up with that field use footage, and if you want to fast forward to my final thoughts, you can fast forward to 12 minutes and 49 seconds. But again here, let's get into the field use. I'm looking forward to this. from the field use. As you can see, a very effective weapon light. A couple of impressions and things to discuss. Now, first off, beautifully made, incredibly nice construction. I love the overall construction of this. Aluminum, durable, just feels robust, feels quality, nothing cheap, nothing plasticky. All the switches, very smooth, nicely done. You can see hardware holding them on, nice, just everything about this. Beautifully made. Now, we are going to run into a couple of fundamental problems. First, this is going to be very much proprietary right now. And when I say that, what I mean is there's really nothing that goes with this. There's no holsters that go with this. There's no real aftermarket support for this light. So even though Rovyvon has made a beautiful, just beautiful light, it's going to struggle for the pistol application. And the reason why, again, I say that is, I need to carry my pistol in a holster. I'm not going to really be able to put this weapon light on my handgun, get it in a holster, bring it around. Really what that does mean is if I'm going to use this for the handgun application, I'm pretty much stuck to this being home defense, maybe coming out of a safe, maybe coming out of a lockbox, something like that. So that's going to be a little bit limiting for this particular model. But all in all the switches working very well. Now, the paddles on the side, I do have to say, maybe are a little bit flush. They could protrude a touch more, but that's a pro and a con. I do love that it's low profile. I do love that you're not going to accidentally bump these and accidentally turn on the light. That works very well from that perspective. However, if you did need this in a pinch and the ability to get on this with your thumb, it's just a little bit, and I'm going to say a little bit, on the slim side. A little less tactile than I would like. So I think I'd love to see this stick out just a little bit more on that upper ramp, and that would really help get on it positively without any issues. But all in all, still very, very good. The fact that it's ambidextrous, of course, is awesome. I love the mode switch. I love the fact that you can switch between the tactical strobe, you can switch between the standard light, and you can also get on the laser. The laser working very well. No issues with it losing zero. The elevation and windage adjustment, simple. I love the green laser. That's a bonus. And overall, you can see right now the lens being dirty, but those are the types of things that can be easily cleaned up. This is just simply a clean microfiber cloth, and you can see that's just pretty much wiping right clean. So not a heck of a lot to it. As we unthread the front here, this is going to be your battery. So let's take a quick look at this. Nice threads, quality threads, gasketed. And here, this does have a little sort of cartridge sleeve, and then the battery on the inside here. So here, a Rovyvon battery, 650 milliamp hour, a 16340. And of course, this is rechargeable. So nice little battery, very simple, 3.6 volt and translating to 2.4 watt hours of overall power. So run times will vary depending on exactly what mode you're running this in. But all in all, just a nice package. Very nicely done. And this interesting sort of cartridge. I've never seen anything quite like this. Which if you take a look at this here, you'll notice that there is a keyway. And then here, there's an actual sort of key. And then you'll notice too that there's the dual contact points. That goes, from what I can tell, to the inside here. And then very specifically down and into place. As we slide that in, now you can see those contacts pointing to the outside and then threading the head back onto the light. Again, very nice threads. Just going easy here. And you can see making contact, no problem. So there you go. And we're back in service. So just a really, really nice light. So in terms of my final impressions, well, let me give you some of my final thoughts. Because holster choice will be very limited, and really there are none for this GL3 Pro in combination with handguns, I feel like this is really going to shine in the more rifle application, or maybe even shotgun application, depending on your shotgun. For me, I have a Ruger PC carbine. I think this will be about perfect for this firearm. Now, what I can tell you is, as we take a look at this here, this construction on the mechanism is a little bit tough to get used to, but once you're used to it, you kind of get it. The lock is very tight. If you go to open the lock, it's going to get stuck because it's got a little bit of a tab. So what you need to do is really push back on it while you move the lever, and at that point it does open up. The other thing that's a little bit difficult, just getting used to these jaws. Now again, not a big deal, but it does kind of make it a little bit awkward as you try to put this on. You can get used to it after a little bit. It's like any other weapon light, spring loaded. Just kind of work the spring side, press it on, and then pop the light into place. Little bit of a screw head here, which you can get on it with a coin, so I'm just leveraging a penny, getting this tightened down to an appropriate tightness, and then I'm going to take the lever and squash it down. So all in all, the jaws on this do seem to be very stout, nice and robust, index perfectly, no problem to it, and just nice and quality. So once you get kind of used to this light, it is very, very enjoyable. So you can see here, I am mounting this towards the front of the carbine. Obviously, it's paddle switches, so you'll have to reach forward to activate the light, but at the same time, more than capable. And so now as I get on this, mounting the weapon, reaching forward, no problem. Pressing the button, leaning on it, no problem. So there you go, disorienting, popping that off. Flipping the switch on the underside, that allows me to change my modes. So now the laser, that would be awesome for this, where, you know, for home, self-defense, something like that, or even practice at the range. That's awesome. Very fun with the carbine. I think this will be enjoyable, and aesthetically, I also think this looks very, very good. So this particular light here is just about perfect, in my opinion, for the carbine, for a rifle, maybe more so than the handgun. And so again, just a beautiful light from Rovyvon. I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Rovyvon who did provide this for review. And for the rest of you, if you like this content, do me a favor. Take a look at my Outer Limitless channel, which is more on my primary gear. On that channel, I cover everything from hiking, camping, and backpacking excursions, all the gear that goes with it. So from sleep systems, shelter systems, knives, axes, backpacks, flashlights, you name it. That's my Outer Limitless YouTube channel. So, all right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.